Good morning to all Ghanaians.
The smaller political parties
Yes.
may band together come election 2024.
Yes.
Because they are not viable alone. So all of them may band together. But I'm curious. You used to be a communications, member of the National Democratic Congress.
Yes.
What made you pull aside and set up the NLC?
The NLC is a political party that is a breakaway from the NDC. It's made up of a group of people. When I mean people, cadres and grassroots people from within the NDC that we broke away and formed the NLC. And the NLC was formed based on the NDC derailing on its ideology of a socialist party. It's not doing what it's supposed. It's not taking care of the youth. It's not doing capacity building. And they've made, how can a socialist party make a filing fee to be a president for 500,000 for a filing fee? To go around and also endorse your documents, you may spend close to another 200,000 or 300,000. Besides that, how
to start with, I don't agree with Atubiga on this point, because he has to understand it's a democracy, that form of governance and very, very expensive. And you cannot actually say if NDC pays filing fee to 500,000, Atubiga and one team it makes the NDC derail from its policies, say a social democratic party, because every political party also needs funds to run the activities of the party. And whatever, let's move on now and analyze some of the things he said in this video.
With your logistics, whatever. So it means the seed of corruption has already been planted in the social democratic party. I mean, the depthness of your pocket should be determined which position you can hold in a socialist party. And that is not the foundation, that is not the ideology, that is not the idea of forming the NDC. It's for the poor. Okay, we're supposed to be doing more social intervention programs, more than the capitalists, which is the MPP. But unfortunately, the MPP has been able to do more social intervention programs than the NDC we're not taking care of. And we've been talking to them closed doors, and it reached a point that we cannot be part of it. We seek permission from our late founder before he passed, and then we broke away and formed another.
This is also false, to be honest. Ochake Ghana, from the days of NDCs, 1992, Rawlings became the president, John Dramani Mahama. You can never, ever say NPP implementing most social inclined policies, NDC, which is not true. What it means, Atubiga NDC, he didn't even believe in the principles of NDC, because not until NDC party, or is it say if you were being able to talk Ghana man answer it? Because you cannot tell me say NPP are implementing most social inclined policies in Ghana, NDC, which is not true. Let's move on and then listen to him.
Another replica of the NDC is the NLC, the same ideology, the same principle. It is that the leadership and where the NDC derailing to a capitalist, that is where we find ourselves, that we have.
So you think the NDC has moved from social democracy to capitalism?
Gradually, yes. That is where it finds its.
And that's your beef with the party?
That is our beef of the party.
So is the NDC corrupt?
They have, at this moment, based on the decision they've taken from the filing fee to be a member of parliament, to be a president, has been the depthness of your pocket. So
that makes the party corrupt?
No, they've planted the seed of that corruption in the party. It means any appointee who wants to be a president, who wants to be a member of parliament, might siphon money. Because today, all the 4 or 5 million registered NDC members, if anybody could call and tell me they have 500,000 Ghana to file to be a president, they have the amount of money if they are at this moment. So what does it tell you? It tells.
And also, I think that because a NDC problem, that is also something that you are peddling false souls. Because all the political parties are Ghana, including party now to be Gatini Tinino, Sani Maninino, Ekuti. And that is the truth. Because I agree with him from some angles. The quantum of Sika or the Bekwa to become a president and as a member of parliament and even assembly member is so huge. So when you're corrupt, and I'll be a business now. The question is, if you are investing this amount of money into this venture, a DNA officer will be in return. And that is something as a nation, I believe that we all need to sit down and then rethink about the whole things Ghana in terms of politics. NPP presidential premise it came out and said Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is the current vice president, Emma, each delegate be all Ghana be 400 Ghana cedis. Canada, Japan, 300 Ghana cedis. NPP as a political party name will be 50 Ghana cedis. So the question is say, Sasika Wayna Mahmoud Bawumia, a UZ and Sana Orway Niabano. What is he going to get in return? Canada, Japan, you need to ask him the same thing. And you need to ask almost everybody. And it's all aligning to only end this year, which means that you are just misleading yourself.
Tells you that people will now look, oh, okay, the grassroots, if a president gives you an opportunity to be a minister, to be a DCE, it means he has given you part of your his powers for you to take the burden off him. If you're a regional minister, it means people in the region has to be managed and taken care of you. For the president, your omission and commission, reflects back to the president. So it means it comes with its benefits that you have to take care of the grassroots. You have to support the youth. Remember, it is a party that gives birth to a government. Okay? So when a government is in power, you have to take care of or reward those who went and seek power from the people and gave to you the president.
So is it that you felt you hadn't been rewarded by the party? You hadn't been rewarded, or you hadn't been rewarded enough by the NDC?
Unfortunately, when it comes to the NDC, our founder, Jerry John Rawlings, he groomed some of us that it is what you can do for your party, not what your party can do for you. But you're damn right that if the party is in power, you have to also benefit. Because at the end of the day, you have to feed, you have a family to feed. The government is in power.
But does that not breed the same corruption you're talking about? Oh, shouldn't it be that you do this so for the greater benefit, and whatever boons come to you individually by way of that greater good, that should be where the buck stops? Does that not also mean that you're subscribing to the very corruption that you speak against?
Politics is the most expensive entity that anybody could. Politics is very expensive. Business of the day is expensive.
So you see, Atubiga see the point I was trying to make. Because he beside say, why be on a party na more juma is that not corruption now? Then he come back to answer say politics is very expensive. But if you know the politics is expensive, now say cost 500,000 Ghana cedis for filing fee. Why do you say that breeds or that amounts to corruption? It means that you are by yourself, you are confused by yourself. And that is what I see Atubiga guys. Or you're working contradiction by himself.
In military rule, you don't need to buy the V8s and what have you, that you know what I mean. Yeah. But politics, just like the S-gracias and what have you, but it's not everybody that wants to serve in business, in government. Okay? In politics, when you win power together, it's few that will be selected to lead, to hold political positions. Okay, and the political positions also have its benefits. Some of us have been in business for so many years, okay, and I'm a businessman, and I would rather be a veranda boy if I was in the NDC than holding positions.
Veranda boys and girls.
Yes, but I would love to see the grassroots capacity building taking. If you look at our fathers who started with the party till date, of our brothers or their kids that went to school, when they go to the tertiary, institutions, you see them joining MPP. You see them join because when they turn around, they didn't give them no scholarship, they didn't pull them along, and they've seen that the MPP organizes organizes their people very, very well. And they come and see their fathers still in the same trenches, okay, for 20, 30 years. They don't even have a bicycle to show. And they ask, Father, but when immediately they join a capitalist political party, they realize that they rather do more social intervention programs. They give them scholarship to go outside the country, and they package them well and reward. If you look at it,
a lot of the things you're talking about also border on corruption. We've had issues with the scholarship secretariat giving scholarships to people. Yes. They were never supposed to give scholarships to people who already have the wealth, going to Harvard and the rest, and benefiting on the largest of
the same question now. Because he's confused here. So he needs to understand some of the things that he himself is trying to talk about.
So in the end, what you're also saying is that, it doesn't matter. Once we have worked for the party, like some will say, then how different is your ideology?
There is no schooling for presidency. There's no perfect president. Neither is there anything that we call a perfect government. But whether we like it or not, the businessmen investing in the political party, definitely you can't give them an appointment. That's why you create jobs. Okay, you reward your businessmen, you reward those that you aid, you reward those that work for you. But at the end of the day, it is what you can do for the country. Any leader, any president, your vision is to make sure that you relieve your people, you relieve Ghanaians. The safety of every young man, the future of every Ghanaian depends on you, the president, and your national security. Are you getting me? So besides delivering governance, you have to take care of people. Remember, it's people that make you whom you are. The party is an invisible institution being managed by people, okay, to deliver, to give birth to a government. And the government responsibility is to make sure that you work for the people, their future, make sure that there's relief, there's future in the country, infrastructure, and then don't forget to pull people along. And every president have their strengths and their weaknesses. President Mahama, when he came, he did a lot of infrastructure, okay? But unfortunately, he couldn't pull the people along. When President Nana came to power, he realized that, look, there's a lot of infrastructure, but there's a lot of hunger in the system. I'm going to do planting for food and jobs. And he was able to achieve that because I have gone around all the 275 constituencies, and I've seen in the villages. For instance, here in the city, okay, the water bill has gone high. There's no water. I mean, the water. But if you go to the villages, when the water goes up even to 1,000 Ghana a month, it doesn't affect the average villager in Alavanyo, Jasika and Kokufra, Bebrese, because all they need is sink boreholes for us. They don't pay no water bills. You know what I mean, right? So there are certain things, people are in Accra here, they've not gone to the villages and the trenches to appreciate that look.
You say they don't pay water bills?
Yes, in the village. I mean, in the villages, in the Bindori, nobody pays water bill. I can use my village.
They consume water from the Ghana Water Company.
No, boreholes. That's what I'm trying to explain. That in the villages, most of the constituencies, in the communities, okay, they don't pay no. All they care about is sinking more boreholes for them. Okay, all they care about is even light bills. Some of them they patch them to maybe 20 Ghana.
Of course, there are, as far as electricity is concerned, there are those lifeline consumers.
Yes, so what I'm saying is those in this area, they want to give them relief like the fertilizers, give them what it takes for them to be able to produce.
It's interesting because the very farmers and people you're talking about, sometimes even the boreholes don't serve their purpose because we just think people need boreholes. But I have a curious question for you, two, and then we'll get into the newspaper.
Okay.
One, you seem to tout the MPP quite a lot. Why not then join the NPP? Because you seem to suggest that they have what it takes to steer the economy around, do the things that our country needs. Why then did you form your own party and not join the NPP?
The NPP...
All right, this kind of question is beside and the answer Atubiga Edebema. Because say Atubiga every NDC Montino, Ababe the person say he doesn't even say anything good thing about NDC. And if you are pressing the government of the day in India, why did you form your own political party, but rather no, why don't you join the opposition or the other side, which is the ruling government, the NPP? Because whatever he wants to do now, the opposition who's the NDC will be in opposition. That is why I call for me on one political party, which means that he's a northerner. He wants to take some of the votes now. John Dramani Mahama, in the northern region. So let's hear the answer that he has for us.
It's an institution when it's a political party by itself. It is not the party that you look at. You look at the individual that is leading the political party.
Right.
And the NLC is not formed to criticize political parties we are formed to make sure that one of our principles in our constitution is you have to give solutions to political parties that are doing.
Anyway, he is very smart here because the answer he is giving here is something I agree with him. And yes, a political party where you might say you only criticize, but you have to also be ready to give solutions. Atubiga is trying to be very smart here, which I agree with the answer he's giving here.
Well, irrespective of their political colors, you have to give constructive solutions. If you're a political party, I used to be a communicator of a political party of the other. I'm no more towing the route of the NDC. NLC has its own ideology. I can't join the NPP because I don't believe in their principles and their ideology. I don't believe in the direction as a capitalist. I'm a socialist, trained socialist, live socialist, exemplary of a socialist person. But that doesn't mean that they are a bad political party. They are capitalists. That is why when they take over power, they create more jobs. They do capacity building, they create factories, they do all the big things. You know what I mean? So, and every leader is different. President Nanado has his strength and his weakness. NDC have his strength and its weakness. But where we find ourselves today, Northerners should be very grateful. Northerners should thank Ghanaians this season for giving us the opportunity to lead this country. It's left on to President John Dramani Mahama. It's left on to former President John Dramani Mahama, President, Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia, to prove to Ghanaians that Northerners, we can lead this country. Right. Not because we've always been running mates. And this opportunity...
Well, we can go back to the era of Liman.
Yes.
Well, he's trying to be tribalist also here. Because Ghana, you cannot say we only leave Ghana to one tribe to rule the nation. Oh yes, you are just becoming confused here. Now, what the problem? Into this kind of people, we need to take a closer look at the activities or some of the things they say on our airwaves. Because why must the whole country, if NDC leader John Dramani Mahama a northerner, na NPP could you see northerner, now what to be Ghana, we are northerner. You cannot come back to say northerners have to be happy because they are taking over Ghana, which is very reckless statement to make.
And say that at least we've had one of such extraction, but this will be the first time in the.
But let me explain something.
A situation.
Me as a northerner, knowing that the opportunity given to us to lead this country should not be taken for granted. Me as a northerner, the failure and success of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Dramani Mahama reflects to any northerner, irrespective of your political colors, you wanting to be president. When I wanted to lead the NDC, the reason why I stepped down and joined John Dramani Mahama's team and supported him was I went to certain places. They told me, everything. John Dramani Mahama was like a yardstick for some of us anywhere we went. So we realized, okay, in that case, let's sacrifice ourselves and make sure that his success and his failure will reflect on me sitting here today.
Right.
So as President Dr.
I doubt to say Asema Atubiga is the truth because you cannot tell me say okay northern region why obi bisa say unua na by den oye. Na unua Mahmoud Bawumia na udi na chi no ono so teso no den na oye. And I don't think so obi for northern region will be to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne John Dramani Mahama ato skill so bit me catch it say what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is doing now is far better than John Mahama by our year. That is not true. Because John Mahama has become a vice president and then a president. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a vice president and he's now vying to become a president. You cannot tell me, say, some people in the northern region believe, say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia perform better than H.E. John Dramani Mahama, which is not true. It is never true. And Atubiga should understand these kind of things.
Time in the history of this country, the MPP has been able to give the less privileged, which is a northerner, to lead the party. They've made history. So he has to make sure that he has to nail it and prove to them that, yes, the next generation of any northerner should have the right to use him as a yardstick.
You have a benchmark
yes.
so far. You've seen, and there's talk about the vice president's posts between, is it 2013 and 2017?
Yes.
On social media, which can no longer be found. But you have a precedent. He has been in power for the last 7 years
yes.
as vice president.
Yes.
Have you seen glimmers of such actions moving forward? And you may tie to that, you, as someone who wants to become president,
yes.
leader of the land,
yes.
what would you do differently from the MPP and the NDC? In 1 minute, just summarize so we can get
every running mate is there to take the weaknesses or to balance the equation for the president, okay? And every running mate brings a speciality. Example, Dr. Bawumia, based on the number of votes in the MPP that my big brother Ken got, Dr. Bawumia has only 35%. The running mate that he'll be choosing will be from the Ashanti region. Are you getting me? Will give him the percentage that he needs.
You say that as a fact, almost as though you knew what would happen. Why? Are you privy to some information?
As a politician, as somebody, a seasoned politician who knows the ground, who can sit down and know that the direction this party is taking. Are you getting me? For instance, people say, oh, the MPP hasn't done anything. The MPP, I say, well, really? In this our country, political parties win power not based on their performance, their bad performance or good performance. It is the structure of the party that wins. Unfortunately, in our country here, the strength of your political party that determines your victory, not what you've because if that is the case, President John Dramani Mahama shouldn't have lost
And that one also, I do agree with him because Ghana now we seems to be getting a problem. I say, yeah, they are buying it, and that is why Ghanaians voted His Excellency John Dramani Mahama out and brought in this clueless group of mafia people. And then I do agree with him in this sense because Ghana now we need to vote based on issues and then performance. And yes, may Santinidia, then I need to totally vote for NPP. NDC. That is not what we're trying to mean here. And I do agree 100% with Atubiga on this kind of argument. Because a performance, delivery, and then development in Ghana is about the NDC and lose 2016 elections. And as a 2020 election, NDC lose it. But because Ghanaians, we don't vote based on issues. And then we don't check the performance of people. That is why we just choose anybody, then we just vote for the people.
2016, because he had, if today he's blessed that he has risen the bar so high that it takes a lot of president for you to do a lot to be able to, I get him, his good work that he did, that is giving him that opportunity right now. I get.
And that is also true. John Mahama, I raised the bar in becoming a president so high, I say, and that is what is causing Nanado and Baumia these problems now Omanyano. Because we could also see say Adiebi Omoyo Ghana be say compare John Mahama dia emfa. That is why Baumia ebre into a criticize NDC policies emfa because Tim Amefona was say hey masa on kind of correct. Because John Mahama raised the ban but we other ban Baumia can never meet that kind of target.
Me. But as a former member, I was thinking that, okay, he has reached a stage that since he's a yardstick, he should have taken a backbench. Are you getting me? Then groom others and put. Today, the NDC has no, if you ask anybody, John Dramani, it means they didn't groom anybody. It means that, and that is very dangerous for a political party. Right. And I think that what I would do different if I'm NDC or MPP, choosing my candidate, my running mate should be strategic, okay? And at the same time, in politics, 1 + 1 is never 2. The smaller parties, as you are saying, we've been having that conversation at the background among ourselves, how we should...
You and which parties?
APC, LPG. We've been having conversation...
How about
even our first meeting? Yes.
Are they all involved?
They were involved in our first meeting, but unfortunately, they are not founders of their political parties. Right. They vote them to, but Akpastara, Ivan Greenstreet. Yes, they were all part of the conversation. Okay, to come together. You bring your political party and come, and maybe I may go in as a chairman. Hassan Ayaraga may come in as a general secretary, and together we'll come together and then form an alliance and then choose.
Is that likely what will happen in
Well, there's a conversation going.
All right.
At the northern sector too, as a northerner, there's a conversation also going on among stakeholders because right now the two big political parties, we have northerners leading them. So it's about what that northerner can do in terms of also projecting the northern sector. We are tired of just choosing a leader that represents based on because he's a northerner.
Right.
Today, the dynamics has changed, irrespective of our religious background, irrespective. We are having a conversation at the background.
Well, if that is what you guys are doing, because Papa, the smaller political parties, then come home because 1,000 years, 2% kuramunya. Inti Atubiga Jumaye.
That who can nail it when we decide to say, okay, let us rally behind that fellow in the interest of also giving us, we Northerners, bringing us up. So it's also a conversation that we've been. So there's a lot of dynamics play. This election is going to be a different ball game altogether.
All right. Let's see how 2024 pans out. Let's get into the papers now.
Yes.
I just had to situate the conversation from there. It would have been remiss of me to actually miss out on some of that. The Daily Graphic Business Access Bank SME. Entrepreneurs urged to reduce costs to survive. Parliament approves 2024.
I think Atubiga has said a lot of things. And that is the truth. That is the truth. And some of the things he says, I do know and I think maybe as a nation, moving forward, I just say because we have some group of people. But the video is very lengthy. Maybe I never for it. Basically, we might take our time and then do it once again because Atubiga said a lot of things in that video. Inti biwa ya de beba beye at the forefront in some other time. Inti me da wase